Hi, first I want to apologise for the audio. I'm using a crappy webcam microphone because my other one's knackered. What this video is about is setting up OpenVPN on the EC2, the Amazon system. I had comments on the old video that it didn't work properly using that particular method, and the reason for that is because of this security group thing that Amazon has on their system. It doesn't play well with the Linux firewall, so we're going to do the same kind of setup, but slightly modified so that it will work on this. So once you're logged in, basically you've got to set up the Amazon AWS account. Once that's all done, you'll be able to get into this control panel. Now if you go to services and EC2, you'll get this, and you want to create an instance. Now you can select where you want to be here. There's all sorts of different options. I'm just going to stick with the North Virginia or whatever. So just launch instance, and I'm going for Ubuntu, so select Ubuntu in the free tier, which is here. Okay, review and launch, and it will give you the security group. Now you need to edit the security group to add a few things, so we'll click there, and we need to add a couple of rules. So we need a custom TCP rule, and that will be on port 10,000 from anywhere, and that will allow login to Webmin. And then add another rule, which will be a custom UDP rule, which is on port 1194 from anywhere, to allow you to connect to OpenVPN. Okay, review and launch. Yep, that's all good. Now you click launch, and it's going to give you key pairs. So what you want to do is create a new key pair. I'm just going to call this vpskeypair, and then click download. I'm going to save that to my desktop. Now once I've got that, I can launch the instance, and that's going to set it up. Okay, it's going to take a while for it to get started, so while that's happening, we can do something with this key pair. We need to convert it to a PuTTY key pair, so I'm going to launch PuTTygen here. Now I've already got PuTTY, OpenVPN and everything installed, didn't really want to go through all that again. So we'll launch PuTTygen. Okay, so we need to load that file, so we go to select all files here, and there's my key pair file, so select that and open. Click OK. Make sure this is selected, SSH2 RSA, and then save private key. Don't worry about that, so just click yes. And we're going to save that as, you need to give it the same name, so it's vpskeypair, and it's .ppk. Save that. And you can see there, that's the key file that we need. Okay, so if we go back to this management service now, we should see our instance running, hopefully. There it is. Forget this terminated one. This is one that I was testing things on, so it's this one we're interested in here. Okay, it's still initializing, but it does say it's running, so I don't know what all that's about. This is what we're interested in, the public DNS. So if you select this and click on connect, you'll get a pop-up window which gives you the public DNS. This is what we want, so we'll select that and copy it. Now if we open PuTTY and type in ubuntu at, and then that public DNS address that we were given, SSH port 22, that's all fine. Go to SSH auth and then click browse here and browse to the key pair that we created. Click that, and I'm going to go back to session here. I'm going to save the session as Amazon EC2 like so. Now I should be able to just click that and log in, so we'll double click it. First time we've connected, so it needs to import the certificate. Don't worry about that, just click yes. Okay, so any time now I should be able to just log in just by starting putty and double clicking on Amazon EC2 here. There. Okay, so as normal, going to update the image, so we need to use sudo here because we've got a forced login, but don't worry about that. So sudo apt-get update and upgrade. Alright, now you can see here during that update that it's created a new initial RAM disk. Yeah, whenever that happens you generally need to reboot, so I'm going to reboot now. So sudo reboot. Okay, now so we can start with the Webmin install, so I'm going to log back in here. There we are. And we're just going to do the same thing here, copying these commands over. Okay, and this time we need to put sudo before this because we're not in as root here, remember. And this will complain again about dependencies. Yeah, same trick will work, so sudo apt-get install -f and just force all those on. Okay, Webmin's installed. Now I'm going to change the root password so that I can actually log in. So to do that, sudo passwd, and then I'm just going to enter a new root password. There we go. So that's set up. At this point I may as well also enable packet forwarding, so sudo nano etc sysctl.conf, and we'll enable forwarding as before. Okay, so at this point I'm going to reboot again. And we should be able to log into Webmin when everything reboots. So we're going to need the instance, the DNS, which is that. And the web address we need is going to be https:// then the public DNS there, :10,000, and that should allow us to log into Webmin if the server's restarted by now, which I hope it has. Okay, connection's not secure, obviously self-signed certificate, so advanced, add exception, permanently store, confirm security exception, and we're in. Okay, username is going to be root, and the password that you entered when you change the root password. Remember that, log in. May as well. Updates for DNS, no, well, we're not running that anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's log back into putty. and we'll install OpenVPN. So sudo apt-get install OpenVPN. Get that on there, simple enough. So there's the module. So on the download, right click on that, save link, copy link location, or whatever equivalent for the browser that you're using. We'll go back to Webmin here, click on Webmin, Webmin Configuration, Webmin Modules, from FTP or HTTP, paste, and install module. And there we go, module's installed. So let's go down now to servers, OpenVPN plus CA, and we're going to have to create the CA first. So this is going to be my CA or whatever, up to you. Save that, and then we've got to wait for it to generate that prime. There we go. Okay, so click on the authority list, and we need to create a server key. So click on keys here, and my server, this is a server key, and save. Now we need to create a client key, so my client, I'm going to put a number after it this time, my client 1. And I'm going to create another one, my client 2. You can create as many clients as you want here, it just depends how many machines you want to connect to the VPN really, with separate certificates. Okay, so return to administration. VPN list, and we want a new VPN server. Call this my VPN 1194, that's right, and we're going to use the same settings I did in the last video. Yeah, we'll change persist to yes. A lot of people change these to root. You can do, if you're ever going to connect to the VPS with on a Linux machine, it's usually best to set these to root, but if you're doing it from Windows, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, so additional configurations, again the same thing. It's the same thing we had before, which is the dhcp options for DNS and the gateway, and also probably a good idea to enable this float, because I connect to the VPS from my tablet as well, and if I'm hopping from hotspot to hotspot, your source IP changes. And if you haven't got this selected to yes, that disconnects you from the VPN. So if you're going to be using sort of mobile devices and mobile hotspots, things like that, probably a good idea to select that to yes. I think that's it. So click save, and the VPN is running. Well, it's not running, but it's entered. So click on client list, new VPN client, and then I'm going to add client 1. Now in IP server here, I'm just going to enter the public DNS rather than the IP address, because I'm not the, yeah, whatever, so I'm just going to enter that. Okay, then click on save, and I'm going to add another one for my other device which I want to use, my client 2, and again the same thing, and save. Okay, and just add as many as you want, or just the one, up to you really. So my client 1 is what I'm going to be using for this one, so I'm going to click export there and save that. Okay, so we've got to do a couple more things now. So we need to create a script file. So let's go into putty here and nano, and this will be startnat, yep, and hash exclamation mark / bin bash, and then enter the line as before. We don't need the MSS clamping, so we'll save that. So Control X, Y, and return. Now we need to make that file executable. So sudo chmod 777 startnat. Okay, so that file is now executable. Now if we go to system here in Webmin, boot up and shut down, we'll scroll down till we see Webmin, which is right at the bottom there. Click on Webmin and we can see this. So just above this line, start here, I'm going to put home ubuntu, which is the home directory of this particular installation. If you use a different OS, this is going to change, so just be aware of that. And then start nat. Okay, and then save that. And what this is doing, I'm basically just piggybacking the NAT setup onto the Webmin startup. It's a bit of a greasy fix, but it works, so who cares. Click save. Okay, we should be all set. So let's go back to Ubuntu here and reboot. Let's check that we're online. Start putting up. Doesn't look like it's rebooted yet properly. Oh dear, that doesn't look good, does it? Oh, there we go, we're in. Okay, so that's up and running. Let's get OpenVPN set up. So there's the OpenVPN icon, so we'll go properties on that and open file location, and here we are. Go back a directory and go into the config directory. We can then open our certificate bundle here, and we need all these files. We don't need the conf one, that's for Linux. Copy those into here. There we go. Okay, so let's look at my IP address. Okay, at the moment you can see it's this. So start OpenVPN and we'll connect. Hopefully everything should work. There we go. Okay, moment of truth. Refresh. Yes! And there we go. There's OpenVPN setup on the Amazon EC2 service. Thanks for watching. Bye.